What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Now, it took me a little bit of time to get round to recording this, but I decided to do it now. As you will remember, just after the leadership debate between Jeremy Corbyn and Boris Johnson, Nigel Farage appeared on a special version of Question Time, where he alone was taking questions from a so-called diverse audience. But to be honest, throughout the whole show, I did not hear one Brexit voice from the audience, which is quite funny considering Peterborough voted overwhelmingly to leave the EU. Anyway, the bit we are going to focus on is the blatant Labour activist plant by the BBC, who starts off looking like a rabid lunatic, questioning Nigel Farage over his taxpayer-funded earnings as an MEP, which seems to be the most pathetic criticism you could possibly level against the Brexit Party leader. The electorate voted him in as an MEP, so therefore voted for him to be paid from the public purse. She also has a problem with the Brexit Party being called a tech startup, which leads Nigel Farage to skillfully dismantle her nonsensical argument. The fact that this woman's points are so pathetic tells me it's possible she was instructed by the Labour Party's spin team that deals with Labour MPs' TV interviews. Surely only them idiots can come up with points that are so irrelevant. Anyway, let's hear what the Labour activist had to say as she rages at Nigel Farage.
In the grey sweater.
Hi there, Nigel.
Hello.
For someone who now stands so strongly against the EU, and a moment ago you spoke about democracy. Now, the salary you earned from the EU, which very much suited you at the time, what percentage of that salary, which you're now actually noted on paper, I think it's 5 million since 1999. So what percentage of that salary, for something you stand so strongly on, are you willing to give back to the British public and create a democracy, not this tech startup?
Hang on a second.
You're actually saying your party is a tech startup.
Hang on a second.
And we're literally about to vote on probably one of the most important elections we are going to see. I think, as a person, it's patronising that I'm actually sat here and you're telling me that your political party is a tech startup.
Yeah, great, isn't it? Innovation.
It's disgusting.
Yeah,
no, it's not innovation.
I tell you what.
It's really appalling.
I tell you what, we're a tech startup.
It's really appalling,
we're
and
a
I
tech
think
startup.
it's very patronising to the British
and we founded
public
it.
to call your
we founded
political
it
party
on the principle.
a startup.
Well, within her first few words, you can tell this woman has no idea who she is talking to. She claims he now stands so strongly against the EU, when in actual fact, he stood against the EU just as strongly for the last 25 years. Where have you been not to know that? Farage is about as anti-EU as they get, and he has never hid that. She claims that he has earned 5 million as an MEP in the last 20 years, and because of that, he should have to give some of that back for some unknown reason. I am not sure if this woman works or what her financial situation is, but surely even most idiots know you get paid a salary for working. That includes elected officials, because of course, their time is not free. Though I would love to know why this woman thinks he should pay some of it back. As I said earlier, people elected him to represent them in the EU, and he was paid accordingly. If you really want to complain about rich people not giving back to the taxpayer, she should look at the Labour front bench. All own houses in London, likely valued over £1 million each. Corbyn for sure has a house in Islington, so will be at least £1 million, and he is reportedly worth over 4.5 million himself. So surely the Corbynated chicken is also one of these rich people she seems to hate so much that she's willing to make herself look like a snarling, spitting imbecile with no real ammunition to use against the Brexit Party leader. Him being paid as an elected representative of the British people is the normal thing to do. Otherwise, the only people who could run as candidates would be the super rich who don't need to earn a salary and just want power. I'm sure this dopey bimp would hate them more than she does Nigel Farage. Also, I don't see this chick calling for other parties' MPs, or in fact her own party, Labour, to give back their salary from the UK taxpayer. Just Nigel, it seems. To be honest, the Labour Party have openly lied to the British public for 2 years now, since they was elected on manifesto claims they would deliver Brexit, when in actual fact they have done everything they can to stop it. Same with the Liberal Democrats and most of the Tory party. So it's extremely hypocritical that she is not calling for every MP to give back money who has ignored the will of the people or went back on the pledges that got them elected. Actually, we know why. Like the Labour Party itself, activists like this trout are blind sheeple who follow the Corbynated chicken like the human centipede. Now, let's see what Nigel has to say in response to our rabid Ramoning friend here.
We found it was a complete start-up.
Anyway,
and do you know
back to the
why?
question. How much, what percentage of your salary was
do you want to
so
stand
well
here and I'll
suited
sit there?
to?
I mean, I don't mind, you know.
I don't know, mate. I might be able to do a better job than
Well, you
create
may
racism
well.
and
You've certainly got self-confidence, I'll give you that.
Thank you.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, I'm a public person who's interested
I
in
believe...
politics.
Let him answer the question now.
No, she's going to take over. In fact, you take Fiona's job. I mean, it's fine. Now, look, here's the point. We founded this with a slogan, change politics for good. And frankly, I think our politics has become utterly corrupted. I think we have a voting system that is not fit for purpose, a postal voting system open to fraud, abuse, intimidation, a House of Lords that frankly should not be there in the 21st century, and many, many radical changes we need to make in this country to restore trust between voters and those that they elect. As far as the European Parliament's concerned, look, I gave up a career in business. I closed down a company to go and do this. I didn't better myself doing it. I was actually far worse off doing it. And I'd point this out to you. If you look at the expenses that British MEPs claim, I claim lower, fewer expenses than any other British MEP. I did not do this. I did not do this. I did not do this to advance my career financially. I made a sacrifice to do it because I believe we should be a free country, and I believe that today more strongly than ever before.
Let's take a question. Another question from Kim Black.
Well, to start off, he lightheartedly mocks her before complimenting her, which was a clever move by Nigel to diffuse her attitude problem a bit. She is a Ramona, so the attitude is always there, but in the end she does pipe down. Nigel is right when he said this Ramona could take Fiona's job. She fits the left-wing Ramona type they would be looking for. Nigel's response is great though. It's always good to hear political figures point out the debacle that is the blatant corruption within politics, the first past the post voting system and the postal fraud that is rife nationwide. My video the other day on the 850 students who were registered to vote without knowing by Plymouth universities and the local Labour Council shows just how corrupt and broken the system actually is. If you ask me, it's a shame that Nigel is one of the few ready to call it out on the mainstream media, and we don't even need to get me started on the House of Lords. We all know there are more uses for Diane Abbott's mathematical genius than there are uses for the unelected shitweasels in the House of Lords, which is really saying something. Nigel states he left the business world and therefore made himself worse off, which I expect is true, since the chances for earning big money as a city trader, which is what Nigel Farage used to be, are fairly good, and they can make obscene money in the 20-odd years that he has been in politics. MPs are not paid peanuts, obviously, but I'm sure these city traders can make more than an MP's salary within one or maybe even a few trades, so it is likely that Farage could have made a lot more over the years hanging back from politics. Now, I'm sure over the course of time in politics he has made a decent sum of money. As to whether it's 5 million or more, who knows and who actually cares? People are entitled to earn money for their time and effort. Not sure how this audience member earns money, but I would hope no one tries to make her give back a portion of it because they disagree with her. We heard a couple of laughs when Farage said he claimed less expenses than other MEPs, but the applaud at the end of his response outshone them because, of course, people want to be free and can relate, even if they might not particularly like him, which I'm sure a good portion of this BBC audience didn't like him. Her whole argument was nonsensical though, and not very well thought out. I mean, Nigel, you are not doing too bad if that's the best these Labour activists and their handlers have against you. I mean, let's be honest, he should have taken her to task on Labour's policies and current investigations regarding racism. He should have asked how she feels about supporting a political party on par with the BNP right now, or even asked her if she would back the call for every Labour and Tory MP who blocked Brexit in clear contradiction of their manifesto pledge that got them elected to give back a portion of their salary. At the end of the day, she was wide open to being ridiculed by him on national television, but I guess Nigel was trying to be gentle with her delicate little self, so she did not require a safe space from his mean, bigoted words. I am still baffled she thought this would be more of a heavy-hitting question than it was. She made out like she had some new information on Farage that would catch him out, when in actual fact, she had less than nothing and only served to make herself look rather deranged, when the optimistic side of me is sure, in general life, she does not act like that. I do still have some faith in humanity in 2019, even if it's not very much. But I will say her facial expressions during her little rant gave me a good chuckle. But in the end, she was just spouting nonsense that is not going to get any real traction when it comes to making Farage look bad. The way he responded made him look like the leader of a political party, dealing with a rather unhinged and misguided Labour activist. He was in control and even had the audience on side by the end. But on that note, I am going to end the video there. I want to thank our PayPal, Patreon, Subscribestar and YouTube members for supporting the channel, along with everyone who watches my videos. Remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Leave a like, subscribe with the notification bell and share this video as it helps the channel a lot. And I will see you all in the next one.
This Parliament is a dead Parliament. It should no longer sit. It has no moral right to sit on these green benches. They don't like the truth. Twice they have been asked to let the electorate decide upon whether they should continue to sit in their seats, while they block 17.4 million people's votes. This Parliament is a disgrace. But they're too cowardly to give it a go. But the time is coming. The time is coming, Mr. Speaker, when even these turkeys won't be able to prevent Christmas.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors. Slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.